All right, Brian, I know we're gonna get into the products right now. Is that what we're doing?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome.
So one of the things I love about Cerule is it's their products, it's their product story, and the product philosophy. And again, I had mentioned to you that Cerule developed these products because they wanted to be able to expand across the world, and they've been very aggressive at doing that. But their core product is a product that helps the mobilization of your body's adult stem cells. And every time I say that to someone, someone says, "Oh wow, that sounds cool." And then I say, "Do you know what adult stem cells do?" And they say, "Nope, but it sounds cool," right? So one of the things I always want to explain to people is the value of adult stem cells in your body. Because if you understand that, once you understand what it is they do and how it is they do it, all of a sudden, understanding there's a product that can mobilize your adult stem cells is not just cool. It's something that you literally feel like compelled to try. You're like, if that really does do what you say that it does, I got to get some of that, right? So adult stem cells are incredibly unique in your body because for two reasons. One is they have the ability to replicate themselves throughout your entire lifetime. And most cells lose that ability very quickly. So the fact that adult stem cells throughout your entire lifetime can continue to make copies of themselves over and over and over and over again without ever losing that ability, that's critical. And that becomes very important when you consider the next cool thing about adult stem cells, which is they have the ability to differentiate into any other type of cell that your body requires for renewal or repair. So when your brain says, you know what, we've got some damage here, we got some aging or dying brain cells, right? Our nerve cells, which are the cells that make up your brain, adult stem cells can literally go to your brain, it replicate in great numbers, enter into your brain, and turn themselves into brand new nerve cells for your brain, right? They can do the same thing in your heart with cardiac cells, the same thing in your muscle, the same thing, in your intestines, in your liver, et cetera, et cetera. This is incredibly powerful because this is how your body literally renews and repairs itself. You see, every single time that your body actually recognizes that it has damaged or aging cells, it sends out this a help signal, right? It's like a biochemical 911 signal that it's sending off to your bone marrow. And it sends it to your bone marrow because that's where your adult stem cells reside. So once your bone marrow actually gets that signal, which says, hey, we got a little small fire over here that we need help putting out before it becomes a big fire, right? Then your adult stem cells, which they act as those first responders, right, that are responding to the 911 call, they are then going to be released out of your bone marrow into your bloodstream. Once they're in your bloodstream and circulation, they migrate from your bone marrow to wherever that 911 call came from. Now, once they get to that area, let's say it was your lungs, right? Then they are going to ultimately multiply, enter into your lungs, and turn themselves into brand new healthy lung cells, thus optimizing your lung functionality. In your brain, optimizing your brain functionality. In your kidneys, your kidney functionality, et cetera, et cetera. This is your body's natural repair and renewal system. And when it's working perfectly, it is a beautiful thing to behold. However, when it's not working perfectly is when we start to experience some issues and some problems, guys. When cells are not replaced at the rate that they need to be to keep you optimized, you start to have issues all throughout your body. In fact, people in most disease states usually have less than half of the circulating stem cells of a healthy person. So a lot of scientists wanted to know why. Why is it that some people are very, very healthy and they have a high bioavailability of their adult stem cells, which is keeping them healthy because they can constantly be repaired and renewed, while other people seem to have a deficit and therefore they're not repaired and they're renewed and they start to break down. And they found that it was very closely related to aging. You see, within your bone marrow, there is something called L-selectin. For lack of a better way of explaining it, this is the glue that holds your adult stem cells in place until they're called upon. So every time they're called upon, copies of them are made and they're dropped into into circulation, and that whole miracle of healing and renewing actually starts. However, every year after the age of 20, for some reason, that L-selectin, that glue, it gets stickier and stickier and stickier, making it more and more difficult for the adult stem cells to be released even when they're called upon. So Again, just imagine 911 calls are going out to the fire department saying we got a little fire over here, but the firemen are stuck inside of the firehouse. They, only some of the time can they actually get the gate up to get the fire truck out of the firehouse, right? Now, at the age of 20, your adult stem cell release rate is said to be at 100%, 100% optimized. The glue is just perfectly sticky enough to hold them until they're needed. And every time they're needed, they're available. That's why at the age of 20 and prior, we bounce back very quickly, right? You fall, you get a cut, you get a bruise, you break a bone. Seemingly, you're back in the game in no time at all. But every year after that, it gets stickier and stickier. So by the age of 50, your stem cell release rate is down to just 50% of what it could do when you were 20, which means only half the time that the first responder cells are being called upon, only half the time are they able to actually show up. And by the age of 65, you're down to just 10% of what you could do when you were at the age of 20, which means 90% of the time that your body calls 911, no one shows up. That's a city or a town where it's simply going to burn down to the ground, right? And that's very scary when we're talking about your body is the representation of that city or that town. Now, let me tell you something. Even those statistics, though, are based off of, a very healthy person, a normal healthy person. Lifestyle can also dramatically increase that rate of decline. So stress, poor sleep, poor diet, poor exercise habits, all of these things can make it so the person in their 30s and 40s has the adult stem cell release rate of somebody in their 50s and 60s just because of some of these things that exacerbate the problem. Now, what our scientists wanted to figure out, though, was how do you change it? How do you increase the amount of adult stem cells that someone has available to them, not over long periods of time either, right? And not, not over years and years and years, but what if you could do it every day? Or even if you could do it multiple times per day, what would that mean? After all, adult stem cells, if they can become any cell that your body needs for a normal repair, enough adult stem cells going to your heart, right, would ultimately optimize your heart and give you better circulation. That would be how you would see the optimized heart. That would be the result, right? With your kidneys, better detoxing skin. With cartilage, better movement, less pain. With your lungs, better breathing, better immunity. And the list would simply go on and on and on, right? Better vision, blood sugar regulation, which is one of the biggest problems that we have in society today. Better detoxing energy, better memory, better concentration, better focus. All of these problems are problems that simply result from cells breaking down and not being replaced by healthy versions of themselves throughout your body. Now, understanding that and understanding how valuable adult stem cells are and the role they play in your body, all of a sudden, a product that optimizes and mobilizes your body's ability to have this bioavailability of adult stem cells, it sounds a lot more incredible, right? And that's what this product is. Stem Enhance Ultra, our core product, one amazing product comprised of 3 aquatic superfoods that, when combined in the right proportion with the right formulation, produce absolutely incredible results. That first superfood is AFA, afanosamenon floss aqua. It encourages the release of the adult stem cells, right? But also encourages the release of lymphocytes to boost your immune system, right? Those are the white blood cells that boost your immune system. Fucoidan increases the baseline of stem cells over time, meaning that it's almost like saying the more you take the product, the more they're going to open up local firehouses, right? And have more and more stem cells available throughout your body. So they're ready to respond to calls even faster. And then with mesenchyme, which is an extract from spirulina, that's going to support the release and the homing of the stem cells as well. Remember, there's 2 parts here. There's the stem cells being released out into your bloodstream, and then there's them getting to where the 911 call came from. That's the homing part. So mesenchyme really does assist with that as well. Now, that's just our core product, right? The product for Stem Enhance Ultra, which releases. We also have products that work, synergistically with that product. So we have our circulation and support product, which is Plasma Flow. Then we have an inflammation support product, which is Active. We have another product specifically targeted towards inflammation within joints, muscles, and connective tissue. We have a collagen active product, which builds up your collagen for your nails, your skin, your hair, but also fights inflammation as well. And we have a variety of incredible skincare products also to appeal to that market for people who say, hey, I just don't want to be healthy on the inside. I want to be healthy and vibrant on the outside as well. Now, as Dr. Gamet also mentioned, we also have another incredible product that's being released here shortly, which is going to be, actually, I'm sorry, it was just released. In fact, by the time you're actually watching this, but it is actually our amazing Hydra Active product. One product, right, where it's a powder, you put it into water, you stir it up and you drink it. And that one product is equivalent to actually drinking 3 bottles of water. So it has not only the ability to give you incredible hydration throughout your body, but also because of the Hydra Active part of it, the active is a Psyactive ingredient that we place in there as well. It also fights inflammation. So now it's not only being looked at as one of the premier hydration products in the marketplace, but it's a premier recovery product. You think about people who are working out in moderate or even severe exercise. One of the biggest questions they have is how quickly can I recover so I can work out again, right? And they're always looking for ways to do that. And one of the things they need to recover from is the repetitive working out actually causes inflammation, pain and inflammation. So now they have this ability to replenish the electrolytes, replenish the hydration that their body needs, the fluids that their body needs, and at the same time, calm down that inflammation, thus allowing them to recover that much faster, 2 to 3 times faster than they would without the product, which is why this is becoming all the rage amongst athletes and even people who don't consider themselves to be athletes, but just like to kind of stay in shape and take care of themselves. This is a product that people are really starting to rave about. So that's the basic overview of our products. I will just say this, everything I'm saying is not just opinion, right? We have dozens of peer-reviewed scientific studies as well that are all available on all of our websites. So anybody can go read. I always say you can read until your eyes bleed, right? I mean, there's literally that much science behind these products, proving that these products actually provide results that you can both see and that you can both feel. So ultimately, it's not just us and saying take our word for it. All the science is there as proof for these products as well, which is the only way to really do it. Real products, real science, real results.
Well, thank you, Brian, for that explanation about the products. I know you went into detail on the adult stem cell, the stem enhanced product, which is great. But I want to ask a question from you because we had a chance, many chances to sell this product, share it, give it away. So I want to give a quick testimony of a gal, Mary Stanley. We're going to get her recording. She had a stroke a few years back, like 3 years or so, a little over 3 years ago, and she got put in a nursing home, and she was couldn't talk, couldn't walk. Her one of her legs was swollen and it was purple and it just wouldn't go down. She was in a lot of pain. And she went to the doctor. The doctor wouldn't do surgery on her because of her age. She was in her 80s. And so she just had to deal with it. And so I sent her some adult stem cells and just to see what happened. She still couldn't talk and walk, and swelling was still there and everything. And I said, man, I got to stop being so cheap. So I actually sent her the whole wellness package, the adult stem cell, the Cyactive, and the plasma flow, all three, right? And in 10 days, she started walking, talking, the swelling went down, and the colors started turning back. And, she used to write letters to me and other people, and we couldn't understand her writing. And when she got better, she started writing people to call us. And they started calling me and they go, man, I couldn't call you before because I couldn't understand her writing, and now I can. And I can understand her on a phone. And so, but can you explain, what these other two products do? Because it was dramatic when you combined all three, and
Sure.
why, that this kind of things that's happened to us multiple times, not just once.
Sure. So I will tell you that, again, when I talk about the fact that all these products work together synergistically, that's not just hyperbole, right? It's actually the way that they were developed and designed to do. Because remember, we had the adult stem cell product first, right, which was scientifically proven to, within minutes of you taking one of these capsules, flood your body and your bloodstream with millions of adult stem cells that were not there prior. But let's think about this for a second. Let's think about the human body, right? And again, we have a video that does this expertly, that we call our first responders video. But here's the thing: once you get the first responder cells out onto the roads, right, which is your veins, your capillaries, right, so that it can actually go to where it needs to go, right? Once it's on those roads, you still have some problems that you start to notice. One of those problems is you got debris in the road, right? And that debris is what we call fibrin mesh. And again, I don't want to be overly scientific for people, but over time, within your blood vessels and your capillaries, it starts to build up this fibrin mesh, which actually starts to clog up your veins, your capillaries, your arteries, etc. And if you're trying to, whether it's nutrition, right, or whether it's oxygen, right, which is another important thing that's being sent through your bloodstream, or whether it's adult stem cells that are using this as a road to travel to where your body requires healing, well, the fibrin mesh slows everything down. So our plasma flow product, one of the core things that it does is it optimizes your circulation by removing the fibrin mesh. It's like it comes along and it cleans all the trash out of the roads, right? Which then allows the adult stem cells, along with your nutritional needs and everything, to flow a lot faster, right? So people take our plasma flow, and one of the things they notice right away is all of a sudden they have warm hands and warm feet for the first time for some of them in decades, right? Where they had forgotten what that even felt like because it's cleaning up their circulatory. Okay. The next thing is that your body also has different places in your body where inflammation has actually formed, right? And inflammation, in as it is intended to work in small doses, is actually a good thing. It's that your body has injury or disease, and it says, hey, let's block this off from everywhere else so we can actually work on dealing with and healing. However, chronic inflammation is a horrible thing, right? It's like keeping a pool stagnant for too long, right? All sorts of nasty stuff starts to grow there, right? So chronic inflammation is one of the precursors for a lot of really, really bad diseases and conditions. So what our Cyactive product does, right, is it takes those roadblocks, right, which ultimately, if the road is completely blocked off, the stem cells have to try to find another pathway to get to where they're trying to get to. If another pathway exists, sometimes it doesn't, which is why somebody might be taking the product and saying, I'm not getting the result because it's blocked off by chronic inflammation. And it starts to get rid of those roadblocks by calming overall inflammation within the body, thus allowing, once again, the stem cells to get to where they need to go to, allowing nutrition to get to where it needs to go to, oxygen to get to where it needs to go to, et cetera. So when you take those three products together, you've got the product that puts the first responders on the road, you got the other product that clears a lot of the debris out of the road, and you got another product that breaks down any actual complete roadblocks. And now all of a sudden, you've got a straight pathway where the stem cells can be released and they can get to where they need to go, and they can start the healing and the rejuvenation process faster. And that's why when people are taking those three products together, they tend to see a result a lot quicker.
Well, that's pretty amazing. And so we call that the wellness package, and we're having people add the hydroactive to it,
Sure.
to complete that wellness package. And so I know you just explained, what the hydroactive does, but in the form of sports, it makes sense,
Yeah.
because it's hydration and recovery, as far as recovery rate. But as far as taking it with these three products, can you speak to how that might help in the healing process or the repair process of the other three
Sure.
products?
Absolutely. So most people know that hydration is important, but they don't know how important it is. You know when you realize how important hydration is? When you're dehydrated, right? You know what I mean? Once you're dehydrated and you're dizzy, you feel off, you have brain fog, you can't concentrate, you start to get cramps, all these different things that happen. Your mouth gets dry, et cetera. And in many cases, depending on how old you are, you end up in the hospital. In fact, a huge percentage of
Mm.
hospitalizations last year, and I just in the US alone, I think it was about 23% or 24% actually of hospitalizations of people over the age of 55 last year was because of things related to dehydration. Unfortunately, not only was it that high, like about almost a quarter of all the hospitalizations for people in that age group, but a large percentage of those people, because they did not recognize the signs of dehydration soon enough, were entered into the hospital and never came home. And that is a massive
Whoa.
thing, right? So this isn't just about athletes and recovery, right? This is about our body is a massive percentage of our body is actually fluid and it's water. And as you're just going through your normal functions in life, you are actually using up a lot of those fluids on a daily basis, and you need to actually replenish those fluids. It allows your body to operate at a high level. One of the things that happens as people start to get older is they start to lose their thirst response. That's critical, right? Because
Hmm.
you know you're thirsty, so you just drink something. But imagine if that thirst response starts to get more and more dull. It doesn't mean your body does not need the fluids. Doesn't mean it doesn't need the liquids and the hydration. It just means the trigger is gone. It's almost like somebody turned off your check engine light. Your engine still needs some work, right? But the light's not on. So as a result, when we talk about particularly the baby boomer generation, hydration is a massive, massive issue. And it's just something that a lot of people forget to take care of. When you can take one product and you know that just by taking this product once or maybe even twice in a day, you're taking care of your hydration needs. There's a huge thing there. The other thing is your body, if it doesn't have the proper amount of fluid content within your body, so that your blood is flowing as it needs to, which is carrying nutrients, adult stem cells, all these things. Well, guess what? That's going to slow down the entire process as well. Just think about a river that flows at one space and you start blocking it off, or you start siphoning off water and then it starts flowing slower and slower. Whatever that river is carrying to the other end is going to get there. It's going to take longer, right? So by utilizing this product, you're also once again optimizing your body's ability to heal itself, because all of your systems throughout your body work better when there's proper hydration. So even from that standpoint, and has nothing to do with working out and getting buff and recovering or anything of that nature, this is a product that is going to be good across the board for people. It has been embraced by a lot of the athletes because, again, they've been drinking Gatorade and all these things, and now they've got a better solution for that. But once again, for people who literally just say, I don't get enough water, which, by the way, is most of the people in the world every single day don't get enough liquid into their body. This is another way that we've made a powerful entree into the hydration marketplace with a product that has dual functionality and therefore gives people a real reason to use this product over other products that are out there.
I was talking to my stepmom, and because she used to be bigger and she lost a lot of weight, and I asked her, "What'd you do to lose weight?" And she said that she drank a lot of water.
Mhm.
And I don't like the taste of water, so that's why I can't wait to I just ordered my product, my Hydroactive. But the point is, it helps with assists with weight loss, but also when you work out and because people don't eat properly, there's a lot of toxins. So the removal of toxins also should be a benefit, correct? From
Correct.
this product.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yes. And so, just that's why we want to add this to our wellness kit, as that fourth product. So, thanks for speaking about these products, Brian. And I know we're gonna have a couple questions really quick. And so before we let you go on to the next subject with the opportunity, does anyone have any questions on the product and or testimony? Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, this is Bobby. I started drinking a lot of water because I had the problem because the doctor told me that I don't drink a lot of water, and you get uh, you get if you don't get enough water, man, you're in trouble because you have to go through dialysis. And he said I don't. He told me I didn't want that. I drink a lot of water. So right now, I drink quite a bit of water because I don't want to go to the dialysis. Right now, I'm
How
not
old are you,
feeling.
how old are you, Bobby?
I'm 86 right now. I'll be January coming up. I'll be 87.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So
Well, thanks you for that testimony.
you're welcome.
All
Yeah.
right, Jan, you're up next.
So thank you, Brian. As always, you awe me with your ability to take very complex subjects and make them sound so simple. And I am still working on the pronunciation of the AFA.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, I am. I'm doing it. But I have to be looking at it. I'm not right now. So I have a question because I've been on your products now for a couple of years. So what is the difference, and do we need both? There's the Cyactive and there's the joint Cyactive. So I haven't been taking just the plain Cyactive. I've just been doing the joint Cyactive.
Sure.
So do we need both? And if you could explain that for me, please.
Okay. So Cyactive is overall body inflammation, right? It's designed to calm overall body inflammation. Now, in our Cyactive joint, we have an additional ingredient, which is actually formed from eggshells. And again, the scientists are way smarter about this kind of stuff than me, but when you actually add this extract from eggshells, what it does is starts to specifically target muscles, joints, and connective tissue. So when we think about inflammation, inflammation can happen all throughout your body, right? It can happen in your heart, it can happen in your vessels, et cetera, and it can cause all sorts of problems. But there are always going to be people who say, I have back pain, or I have knee pain, or I have repetitive stress disorder because I worked in an office for 45 years typing well, 45 years, I guess it started off as a typewriter and now it's a computer. And, so my hands don't work. And when we get those types of things, people are looking for something that's going to specifically address those disorders. And what we found was by creating the Cyactive joint product, it wasn't just overall body inflammation, it was this targeting towards their joints and their muscle and connective tissues that allowed them to actually get really faster. So the answer is, do you have to take Cyactive and Cyactive joint at the same time? You don't have to take them at the same time. If you feel overall that you don't have a particular ache or pain that you're trying to address that's in a bone or a muscle or connective tissue, take the Cyactive, right? And the Cyactive is going to help to calm that all the time. But when you get to a point of you're actually experiencing discomfort or pain, it means that your problem is, I don't want to say it's bad, like to scare people like, oh no, that's it, that's the end. But it means that it's further along the course and the path, and you want to start directly addressing that as quickly as possible. That's the people who should be taking Cyactive joint. So what we've had people who have taken Cyactive joint, gotten to a point where they addressed that particular ache or that particular pain or discomfort that they were concerned about, and then they simply switched over to Cyactive as a maintenance for them to make sure that doesn't build back up and become a problem again. So you don't need to take them both at the same time, but that's the difference between the two.
Yeah, I have sciatic nerve issue. Otherwise, I have a pain in the butt. I am a pain in the butt. Maybe that's what I have, a pain in the butt. I thought I would say that before you did, Theodis. Okay. Yeah. So in other words, the joint is what I should be on now, and also I just need to be stretching, and I'm being hugely resistant to that for some reason. So, okay. Okay, that's good. Great explanation. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You got it.
Yeah, Jan, was it you that gave the testimony the other day on the skincare line? I don't know if you've taken the skincare.
Oh yeah, I've always taken good care of my skin, but I'm amazed, really seriously. I have like no wrinkles around my eyes, like none. like not one wrinkle. I'm 62. I have not one wrinkle around my eyes. Like that's weird, especially since I wore contacts for 30 years and was poking and pulling these things in and out of my eyes every day. So yeah, and I love the skincare. I mix it up with my late husband's spirulina algae cream, but it feels so good. It just really feels good. I love the cleanser. I love the serum. I love the CC cream. It's good stuff. Yeah. The quality of the products, because I'm a healer and I work with energy. And honestly, Brian, that's how I go. It doesn't matter what the testimonials say or what even what you say. It's what's the energy that comes off of that. And your stuff just soars. It really does.
I'm glad to hear that. I am. There's a lot that goes into all these products, and for them to even decide to, I mean, and there's, what's interesting is there's a lot of products that we go through research on and we test and we go back and forth that we've never released and never will release, right? And so it's interesting for me to kind of see that process, right, of how things actually, I like to say, make the cut, right? Because there are a lot of people who make claims about a lot of things that are out there, but we really do a lot of testing, and it has to go through a very strenuous process, because we want to know that when we're putting something out and we're saying that this is what it does, that's actually what it does. Right? It's not just a cool story.
You know what?
Cool result.
And what's funny is that I will pick up the energy from things. And when you started talking, the two things that came up was love and integrity. So then you just go talk about being in integrity. That even though it may be an amazing product and it ticks 9 of the 10 boxes, if it doesn't tick 10 of the boxes or more, then you don't do it. So love and integrity is the energy that I pick up in your products, which to me is, the two of the most important energies as far as I'm concerned that we could live by. And your company seems to, obviously be doing that. And I love it. I really, really like your products. I can't imagine not having them.
Wow.
Yeah, it actually feeds into almost because I know we have the business side of this, but it feeds into, I like to call it like a karmic business model where there's a lot of companies with really cool sounding products. I'll just say that, but they don't really work, but they sound cool and they look cool. They smell cool and they feel cool, but they don't work. And what happens is a person can go out and they'll represent that product and people will buy it once. Right. Right. And then you have to go out and find a whole new person, right, if you want to make another sale. And we're incredibly excited about the fact that all the data shows that people try our product, they buy our product, and they continue to buy it over and over and over again, which is not just good for the company, it's really good, for the independent business owners who work with us, because they're rewarded, time and time again. It's a residual reward for a one-time effort. And so they're not wasting their time, and they really are getting leverage, versus if our products didn't work, they just sounded cool, looked cool, smelled cool, but they weren't cool, right? They didn't really do what they said they were going to do. Look at the extra energy and effort that now an independent business owner has to go through, where they sell the product, do all this work, convince somebody, a person buys a product, but then that person's never going to buy a product from you ever again. So you have to go find a whole brand new person to make another sale if you want to earn another commission. Instead of finding one person, give them products that actually work. They get an incredible result. They never want to be without the products. So they buy them over and over and over and over again. And you get rewarded over and over and over and over again, right? And I always say, we have people who, on the first day that Cerule opened up, the very first day, they enrolled customers on day one. And that was a little over 7 years ago. And they've gotten a commission check every single month for over 7 years for a sale they did that they probably don't even remember doing 7 years ago. That is the model that you want to be a part of. And it's something, and it's probably one of the things we're most proud of.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
And that is something that I think is super important because all of us, have got a lot to do. We want to work easier, not harder. So the integrity of the products then manifests in that we can speak to them with integrity. I've never been embarrassed talking to anybody about Cerule. Whereas with some companies, I'll pick and choose the products, but I know overall that all your stuff is amazing. And so the integrity that you've used, shows up throughout your entire program, right down to your support team, which are amazing. I've used them lots of times and phoned and said, this is what I need, or, what can you do here? And, they are there for you. And that, all of it, it's cohesive, Brian, and very few people manage to do that. Seriously, very few people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we call Cerule the best customer service in industry. Yeah. Yeah. And
I'll shut up now. I could talk for the next half hour about how much I love it. So I'll stop now.
Well, on the business side, that's one of the things that people love, Brian, is that there's not 100 products. They're very specific. There's a few for the health and for the skincare, and that's it. And they all work. And so we all love that. So thanks for speaking about the products in depth.
No worries. My pleasure.